How to turn failure into leverage, define your life purpose, set boundaries with the art of saying no, and manage your finances effectively. Each experience delivers practical tools to elevate your courage and empower you to take control of your life. 1. Introduction. Reframing failure. When you face a setback, whether it's a missed promotion, a broken business venture, or a personal relationship that falls apart, it can feel like the world is collapsing around you. You might question your abilities, your identity, and even your purpose. Yet failure need not be the final chapter of your story. In fact, it can become the very catalyst that propels you toward greater heights. As a psychologist with a decade of experience guiding individuals through life's ups and downs, I've witnessed time and again how reframing failure transforms it from a wound into a springboard for lasting success. 2. Illustrative story from startup collapse to global impact. Consider the journey of David, an entrepreneur in his early 30s, brimming with ambition and a disruptive idea for a social app. His first startup launched with fanfare, angel investors, a sleek website, and early media buzz. Yet within 6 months, the product failed to gain traction. User numbers stagnated, the marketing budget evaporated, and key team members departed in frustration. For David, the collapse felt catastrophic. He spent weeks locked in a cycle of self-blame, questioning every decision he had made. But rather than sink deeper, David decided to dissect his failure. He gathered feedback from his dwindling user base, analyzed usage data, and conducted frank retrospectives with former team members. From that process emerged 3 critical insights. The app's core feature didn't address a genuine pain point, its onboarding flow was confusing, and the brand messaging was misaligned with target users. Armed with that knowledge, David pivoted. He developed a new prototype, this time focused on a tighter user need, and launched a lean pilot. The revised app, guided by the lessons of his failure, caught on. Today, that same platform serves millions worldwide and has been acquired for a 9-figure sum. 3. Psychological insights. Why failure feels crushing. At the moment failure strikes, several psychological forces conspire to magnify its impact. Fear of judgment. You may believe others interpret your setback as a personal deficiency rather than a natural part of growth. Identity. Threat. When you tie your self-worth too closely to outcomes, a failure can feel like an existential crisis. Loss aversion. Behavioral research shows we experience losses more intensely than gains of the same magnitude. A single failure can outweigh dozens of successes in our emotional memory. Cognitive distortions. After a setback, your mind may slip into all or nothing thinking, I'm a total failure, or catastrophizing, because this failed, everything else will too. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward breaking their grip. When you understand that these reactions are common and often exaggerated, you can begin to shift your internal narrative. For the hidden benefits of embracing failure. Though failure can sting, it also offers invaluable benefits. Clarity of vision. Failure shines a spotlight on blind spots in your strategy, skills, or assumptions. Resilience building. Each time you pick yourself up, you strengthen your capacity to weather future storms. Creative breakthroughs. Constraints force ingenuity. Many major innovations, Post-its, penicillin, microwave ovens, were discovered by accident or amid trial and error. Authentic leadership. Admitting mistakes and demonstrating how you learn from them inspires trust and loyalty from colleagues, friends, and family. Reinforced motivation. The emotional lows after a failure can fuel a renewed commitment to succeed if you channel that energy constructively. 5. A 5-step process to leverage failure. Step 1. Pause and reflect. Immediately after a setback, resist the urge to plunge straight into damage control. Instead, take a deliberate pause. Find a quiet moment. Go for a walk, journal, or meditate. Label your emotions. I feel frustrated. I feel embarrassed. To diffuse their intensity. Ask yourself, what exactly went wrong? Which assumptions did I make? This reflective pause prevents reactive decisions driven by shame or anger. Step 2. Gather objective data. Collect concrete information to understand the root cause. Seek feedback from trustworthy peers, mentors, or customers. Review performance metrics, customer comments, or project documents. Distinguish between factors within your control, e.g. skill gaps, communication, and external factors, e.g. market shifts. By grounding your understanding in evidence rather than emotion, you set the stage for targeted improvements. Step 3. Reframe the narrative. How you talk to yourself matters. Replace "I failed" with "this attempt didn't work out." Turn "I'm worthless" into "I'm learning what doesn't work, which brings me closer to what will." Write a brief failure report that frames mistakes as discoveries. This cognitive reframing shifts your mindset from victimhood to experimentation. Step 4. Design a learning plan. Based on your insights, create a specific action plan. Identify 1 or 2 key lessons you want to apply next time. Set SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Schedule regular check-ins to monitor your progress and adapt the plan as needed. Treat your next endeavor as a controlled experiment rather than a high-stakes gamble. Step 4. Share your story. Vulnerability fosters connection. Talk about what you learned with peers, partners, or a professional network. Frame your narrative around growth and next steps, not just the failure itself. Offer guidance to others who might face similar challenges. By openly sharing your journey, you reinforce your own learning and encourage a culture where failures are stepping stones rather than tombstones. 6. Practical example: reinventing a career path. Imagine you're a mid-career manager laid off from a company you devoted 10 years to. Initially, the loss feels like a betrayal of your loyalty, yet by following the 5-step process, you can pivot effectively. Pause and reflect. A week off helps you process the surprise and acknowledge grief. Gather data. You solicit exit interviews, research industry trends, and identify skills your former company undervalued, e.g. digital marketing. Reframe narrative. You reframe "I was let go" as "I'm now free to apply my leadership skills in a fast-growing sector." Design a learning plan. You enroll in a 6-week digital marketing bootcamp, set up informational interviews with industry insiders, and commit to a small freelance project to build a portfolio. Share your story. You update your LinkedIn profile, highlighting your transferable leadership experience and new certifications, while acknowledging the layoff as a catalyst for growth. Within 3 months, you secure a higher paying role in a dynamic startup, one that wouldn't have been on your radar had you stayed in your comfort zone. 7. Sustaining momentum, cultivating a growth mindset. Turning failure into opportunity is not a one-off event, but an ongoing practice. To sustain progress, embrace curiosity. Approach challenges with questions rather than fear. What can I discover here? Normalize small failures. Deliberately experiment with low-risk ideas to keep your learning muscles active. Celebrate learning milestones. Acknowledge when you've integrated a lesson, not just when you achieve an external goal. Build a supportive ecosystem. Surround yourself with mentors and peers who value learning over perfection. Over time, these habits weave a resilient, innovation-driven mindset that thrives on iteration. 8. Conclusion. Your next chapter awaits. Failure can sting, but it need not define you. By deliberately reframing setbacks, extracting actionable lessons, and applying a structured process, you transform defeat into momentum. Remember David's story. His initial collapse was not the end, but the crucible that forged his later triumph. Similarly, your deepest disappointments can become the launching pad for your most significant achievements. Ask yourself today, what recent setback still weighs on you? What concrete data can you gather to understand it better? How will you reframe your narrative and set a fresh, actionable plan? Your journey towards success is a series of experiments. Each failure is simply data nudging you closer to your next breakthrough. Embrace it, learn from it, and let it propel you forward with renewed confidence. The springboard is ready. Will you take the leap? Defining your life purpose and long-term vision is a crucial step that helps guide every decision in your life. Ask yourself, what makes you feel happy and gives your life meaning? When you clearly understand your core values and your greatest dreams, it becomes easy to map out the path ahead. Visualize yourself in the future, identify your major goals, and commit to moving forward step by step with unwavering conviction. 1. Introduction: the compass within. As men mature, they often find themselves at a crossroads, successful by external measures yet internally restless. Promotions, awards, and material comforts bring only fleeting satisfaction. Why? Because without a clearly defined life purpose and a long-term vision, these achievements feel hollow. A robust sense of purpose acts as an inner compass, guiding daily decisions, igniting motivation during setbacks, and infusing each moment with meaning. In this lesson, you will learn how to uncover your deepest purpose and translate it into a compelling vision that carries you through life's inevitable storms. 2. A true story. From corporate climb to community catalyst, meet James, a high-performing executive in his late 30s. For years, his calendar was packed: board meetings, quarterly reviews, client dinners. Yet a nagging emptiness accompanied each milestone. Despite a corner office and six-figure salary, James felt like a hamster on a wheel, running fast but going nowhere that truly mattered. One weekend, he accompanied his teenage niece to volunteer at a local literacy center. There, he witnessed children light up at the simple joy of reading their first sentence. In that moment, James realized he craved impact far beyond profit margins. He began to ask himself, what legacy do I want to leave? But within months, James negotiated a sabbatical, immersed himself in non-profit project management, and ultimately transitioned his skill set to launch a social enterprise that provides mobile libraries to underprivileged communities. Today, he awakens energized by the knowledge that his work aligns with a deeper purpose: empowering young minds. His long-term vision, to see every child in his region access books by age 7, serves as a North Star for strategy, fundraising, and team building. 3. The psychology behind purpose and vision. 3.1. Why purpose matters. Intrinsic motivation. When goals connect to a higher cause, effort and perseverance increase naturally. Resilience. Purpose-driven individuals bounce back faster from failure, viewing setbacks as temporary obstacles on a meaningful journey. Well-being. Studies consistently link strong life purpose to lower anxiety, reduced depression, and greater life satisfaction. 3.2. The role of vision. While purpose answers, why am I here? Vision addresses, where am I going? A long-term vision transforms an abstract purpose into a concrete picture of the future. It enables you to align short-term goals with your overarching mission, ensuring each step moves you closer to your ideal self and world. 3.3. Common barriers. Over-identification with roles. Defining yourself solely as an employee, a father, or a provider limits exploration of broader purpose. Fear of failure or judgment. A grand vision can feel intimidating if you believe you lack talent or resources. Analysis. Paralysis. Endless self-reflection without action leads to stagnation. Recognizing these barriers is the first step toward dismantling them. For a 4-phase framework to discover purpose and vision. Phase 1. Self-exploration. Reflect on peak experiences. Journal about moments when you felt fully alive and in flow. What were you doing? Who were you with? And what values were you honoring? Uncover core values. From those experiences, extract the underlying values, e.g. creativity, service, adventure. Narrow to your top 5 to 7. Identify patterns. Look for recurring themes. Did you consistently enjoy teaching, building, or leading? These patterns point toward purpose domains. Phase 2. Drafting your purpose statement. A purpose statement combines your core values with your unique strengths and the impact you wish to have. Use the formula: I exist to contribution by unique strength, but so that impact on others' world. Example. I exist to cultivate curiosity by making complex ideas accessible so that communities can thrive through knowledge. Phase 3. Envisioning the future 5-year vision exercise. Picture your life 5 years from now. Write a vivid description covering daily routines, work, relationships, self-care, professional and personal achievements, emotional tone, e.g. fulfilled, energized, at peace, visual mapping. Create a simple vision board, images, keywords, or even a mind map that encapsulate your aspirational life. Alignment check. Ensure every element on your board ties back to your purpose statement. Phase 4. Translating vision into goals. Long-term goals. Define 3-5 major milestones that reflect your vision. Igaji launch a non-profit program, write a book, achieve financial independence to fund philanthropic work. Medium-term objectives. Break each milestone into 6 to 18-month objectives. NYG, secure funding, complete manuscript outline. Short-term actions. List weekly or monthly tasks that move you closer, e.g. to network with potential donors. Write 1,000 words per week. 5. Practical example. Applying the framework. Let's say your core values are empowerment, creativity, and connection. Purpose statement. Draft. I exist to empower individuals by creatively designing collaborative experiences so that they can unlock their full potential. 5-year vision. You run an annual leadership retreat that blends art therapy with strategic coaching. Your retreat alumni form a network that mentors young entrepreneurs. You author a guidebook on creative leadership practices. You feel energized, supported, and proud of the ripple effects on participants' lives. Long-term goals. Retreat. Launch. Host the first retreat within 2 years with at least 25 participants. Book publication. Publish your leadership guide within 3 years. Alumni. Network. Establish an online community platform by year 4. Medium-term objectives. Q1, Q4. Year 1, research retreat models, partner with a creative arts center, draft retreat curriculum. Year 2, secure venue funding, pilot with a small group, collect feedback. Year 3, compile case studies from pilot, write and pitch book proposal to publishers. Short-term actions. This week, identify and contact 5 arts centers for collaboration. This month, draft your retreat module overview. Next month, facilitate a local workshop on creative leadership to build credibility. 6. Overcoming common obstacles. Lost momentum. Schedule quarterly vision retreats, even a half day of uninterrupted reflection to review progress and reignite passion. Resource constraints. Seek pro bono partnerships. Apply for grants and leverage digital platforms, e.g. crowdfunding, to fund early initiatives. Self-doubt. Keep a wins journal with daily entries of small achievements and positive feedback to counter negative self-talk. 7. Measuring progress and staying accountable. Key performance indicators, KPIs. Choose 3 to 5 metrics tied to your goals, e.g. number of retreat applications, manuscript chapters completed, community engagement rates. Accountability. Partner. Share your vision with a trusted friend or mentor and schedule regular check-ins. Public commitment. Announce a milestone or launch date on social media or via email newsletter to harness social accountability. 8. The ripple effect from self to society. When you live in alignment with purpose and vision, personal fulfillment, each day feels infused with meaning. Authentic leadership. Others gravitate toward your clarity and passion. Positive impact. Your efforts catalyze change in the lives of colleagues, family, and community. Purpose-driven men often inspire teams, strengthen relationships, and leave a legacy that transcends their lifetime. 9. Cultivating long-term sustainability, lifelong learning. Regularly update your skills and knowledge to remain effective in your chosen domain. Self-care rituals Guard against burnout by integrating rest, exercise, and creative outlets into your schedule. Community engagement. Mentor emerging leaders to amplify your impact and refine your own insights. By treating purpose and vision as living, evolving constructs, you ensure they stay relevant as your circumstances and the world change. 10. Conclusion. Embarking on your definitive path. Discovering your life purpose and crafting a long-term vision are not one-off tasks, but transformative journeys. They require honesty, persistence, and the courage to experiment. Yet the rewards, inner peace, unwavering motivation, and profound impact are well worth the effort. Reflect on these questions tonight. What moments in your life have felt most meaningful? Which core values emerge when you strip away external expectations? How would you like your ideal future self to reflect on today's decisions? Capture your answers. Draft a purpose statement, sketch your vision, and take your first small action tomorrow. Remember James's story. It was a weekend volunteer shift, not another board meeting, that shifted his trajectory. Your own pivotal moment may arise from an unexpected experience. Stay open, stay curious, and let your inner compass guide you toward a future that truly matters. The world needs your unique contribution. Start positioning your purpose and vision today and watch as life unfolds in remarkable ways. 1. Introduction. Reclaiming your time and energy. In a culture that applauds busyness and equates can-do attitudes with success, the simple word no can feel taboo. Yet mastering the art of setting boundaries and respectfully declining requests is one of the most empowering skills an adult man can develop. When you learn to say no with confidence, you protect your priorities, preserve your mental health, and cultivate deeper respect from colleagues, friends, and loved ones. This lesson will guide you, step by step, through the psychological roots of boundary setting, practical strategies for delivering a clear no, and real-world examples so you can implement change today. 2. A real-life story. From overcommitment to clarity. Consider the journey of Alex, a 35-year-old marketing director. Known among peers as the go-to guy, Alex found himself juggling client pitches, volunteer commitments at his children's school, nightly gym classes, and weekend poker nights with friends. Despite outward acclaim, he felt perpetually drained and guilty whenever he paused or declined. One evening, after rescheduling a family dinner for the third time that week, Alex's partner confronted him. "It's not that I don't admire your dedication, but we miss you." That conversation was a wake-up call. Alex realized that by agreeing to every favor and invitation, he was sacrificing the very relationships and self-care he claimed to value. Determined to change, Alex began experimenting with small no statements, turning down a low-impact work meeting, skipping a volunteer shift that didn't align with his passions, and carving out an uninterrupted Sunday morning for reflection. Within weeks, he noticed increased focus at work, more quality time with family, and a new sense of control. Colleagues, initially surprised, soon respected his clarity and even sought his guidance on managing their own workloads. 3. Why no feels so hard. Psychological barriers. Understanding why we struggle to assert boundaries is the first step toward mastering the art of no. Fear of rejection or conflict. We worry that saying no will anger others or damage relationships. Social psychology shows that people often comply with requests to avoid discomfort or disapproval. Desire to please. Many men grow up internalizing messages that helping equates to worthiness. Pleasing others can become an automatic habit, even at personal cost. Imposter syndrome and guilt. You may feel guilty for letting someone down or believe your value depends on constant availability. Imposter feelings can amplify the urge to overcommit to prove competence. Lack of practice. Refusing requests is a skill. Without rehearsal, it feels awkward, and we default to yes out of habit. Recognizing these barriers allows you to decouple the act of saying no from fear and reframe it as an act of self-care and integrity. 4. The transformative benefits of setting boundaries. When you embrace the power of no, you unlock multiple advantages: enhanced focus and productivity. By protecting your schedule, you free up cognitive resources to excel at high-priority tasks. Improved mental well-being. Boundaries reduce stress, anxiety, and the risk of burnout by preventing chronic overcommitment. Stronger, more authentic relationships. People come to respect your honesty and clarity. Ironically, those who truly care about you will appreciate a candid no more than an overextended yes. Greater self-respect. Consistently honoring your own limits reinforces a positive self-image and agency over your life choices. 5. A 5-step framework for saying no gracefully. Step 1. Clarify your priorities. Identify core values. List the top 3 to 5 values guiding your life, e.g., family time, professional growth, health. Align requests with values. Before responding, ask, does this request support my priorities? If not, it's a candidate for no. Step 2. Prepare standard responses. Create a few simple, polite templates you can adapt on the spot, such as, thank you for thinking of me, but I'm unable to commit right now. I appreciate the opportunity. However, I have to decline to honor other priorities. Step 3. Use a softened, assertive tone. Acknowledge the request. I'm honored you asked. State your no. I'm sorry, but I can't. Optional brief. Explanation. I'm focusing on priority at the moment. Offer an alternative, if appropriate. Perhaps colleague's name could help. Step 4. Practice active non-apology. Avoid over-apologizing. I'm really sorry to be a bother, which weakens your statement. A single genuine I'm sorry is enough. Follow with clarity rather than defensiveness. Step 5. Reflect and adjust. After each boundary-setting conversation, note how it felt and the other person's reaction. Refine your approach based on what worked: tone, timing, or phrasing. 6. Practical example. Declining a work meeting scenario. Your manager invites you to a brainstorming session that doesn't align with your core responsibilities. Clarify. Priority. You're committed to completing a high-impact project due tomorrow. Standard response. Thank you for including me, but I need to dedicate my time today to finalize the XYZ proposal. I'm happy to review the meeting notes afterward. Tone. Calm, respectful, and confident. Reflection. You preserved your deadline and demonstrated proactive communication. Your manager appreciated the heads up. 7. Common pitfalls and how to overcome them. Over-explaining. Lengthy justifications dilute your boundary. Keep explanations brief. Hesitating too long. Indecision invites pressure. Learn to respond promptly. Let me check and get back to you can buy time. Guilt trips. If others try to guilt you, restate your boundary firmly. I understand this is inconvenient, but I must decline. All or nothing thinking. You don't need to refuse everything. Selective no's safeguard your capacity for meaningful yeses. 8. Cultivating ongoing boundary resilience schedule, white space in your calendar, time blocked for rest or reflection that no one can book over. Use visual reminders. A note on your desk. My time is valuable. Team agreements. In professional settings, co-create norms around meeting length, after-hours communication, and task delegation. Seek peer support. Discuss boundary challenges with a mentor or friend to reinforce your commitment. 9. The ripple effect. Modeling healthy boundaries. When you assertively protect your own boundaries, you empower. Others, colleagues and loved ones feel permission to guard their own time. Elevate team performance. Workflows become more efficient when meetings and requests respect everyone's bandwidth. Strengthen culture. In families, clear boundaries foster mutual respect and reduce emotional conflict. 10. Conclusion. The liberating power of no. Saying no is far from selfish. It is a courageous act that honors your priorities, well-being, and integrity. As you practice the 5-step framework, you'll find that each careful boundary you draw not only preserves your energy, but also sharpens your focus on what truly matters. Over time, the art of setting limits becomes second nature, transforming no from a source of anxiety into a tool for freedom and growth. Remember, every time you say no to something that misaligns with your values, you are saying yes to your highest self. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how this single word propels you toward a more meaningful, balanced life. 1. Introduction. Why financial intelligence matters. Money shapes almost every aspect of our adult lives, from the comfort of our homes to the freedom to pursue passions. Yet, many men find themselves trapped in cycles of living paycheck to paycheck, overwhelmed by debt, or daunted by the complexities of investing. The key to breaking free is developing financial intelligence, the ability to manage resources wisely today while laying the groundwork for long-term wealth. In this lesson, you'll discover why your mindset about money is just as important as the numbers on a spreadsheet, and you'll learn a structured approach to budgeting, saving, and investing that aligns with your goals and values. 2. Illustrative story. From paycheck to portfolio, meet. David, a 32-year-old engineer who earned a comfortable salary yet felt perpetually anxious whenever bills arrived. Despite a 6-figure income, he watched his savings dwindle on dining out, last-minute travel, and impulsive gadget purchases. One evening, after missing a housing down payment deadline because his emergency fund was empty, David realized that high income alone does not guarantee security. Determined to change, he began tracking every expense for a month. Coffee runs, streaming subscriptions, Uber rides. That data revealed surprising leaks. Small, habitual costs that added up to hundreds each month. David then set up a zero-based budget, committed to saving 20% of his income before spending anything else, and automated contributions to a diversified investment account. Within 2 years, his emergency fund reached 6 months of expenses, and his brokerage account grew steadily, even weathering a market downturn with little anxiety. Today, David feels empowered. He knows where every dollar goes, sleeps soundly at night, and can envision a future not defined by financial stress, but by choice. 3. Psychological insights. The mindset behind money. Money management is rarely purely rational. Several cognitive and emotional forces influence our financial behaviors. Instant gratification. Bias. We overvalue short-term rewards, a night out, at the expense of long-term benefits, retirement savings. Loss aversion. The pain of losing $100 often feels twice as intense as the joy of gaining $100 does, leading us to avoid risks, even sensible investments. Mental accounting. We treat money differently depending on its source or intended use, e.g. fund money versus bills money, which can distort spending priorities. Status quo bias. Changing habits like setting up a budget or opening an investment account feels uncomfortable, so we stick with the familiar even when it's suboptimal. By recognizing these biases, you can deliberately design systems that counteract them. Automating savings, reframing loss as investment in your future, and normalizing regular financial check-ins. 4. The benefits of smart financial management and investing. Adopting disciplined money habits and a sound investment strategy delivers multiple payoffs: financial security, a robust emergency fund, and manageable debt reduce anxiety during life's inevitable surprises. Time, freedom, passive income streams, dividends, interest, rental yields give you flexibility to pursue passion projects. Compound growth, early and consistent investing, leverages compound interest, turning modest contributions into substantial wealth over decades. Psychological well-being, clarity about goals and a sense of control over your finances correlate with lower stress and higher life satisfaction. Legacy creation. Strategic asset allocation enables you to build intergenerational wealth, whether for children's education or philanthropic endeavors. 5. A 5-step framework for financial mastery. Step 1. Establish financial awareness, track income and expenses. Use a simple spreadsheet or an app to record every dollar coming in and going out for at least 30 days. Categorize. Spending. Group expenses into essentials: housing, utilities, flexibles, dining, entertainment, and aspirational: investments, savings. Calculate your savings rate. Divide total monthly savings by income to find your baseline. Aim to gradually increase this percentage. Step 2. Build a solid foundation. Eliminate high-interest debt. Prioritize paying off credit cards and consumer loans with the highest interest rates. Use either the debt snowball, smallest balance first, or debt avalanche, highest rate first. Method. Create an emergency fund. Accumulate 3-6 months' worth of essential living expenses in a liquid, easily accessible account. This buffer prevents you from tapping into investments when urgent needs arise. Secure adequate insurance. Ensure coverage for health, life, disability, and, if relevant, property. Insurance protects your financial plan from catastrophic events. Step 3. Define clear financial goals. Short-term goals. 1-3 years. E.g. vacation fund, car replacement, home down payment. Medium-term goals, 3 to 10 years. E.g. children's education fund, entrepreneurial side business, seed capital. Long-term goals, 10-plus years. E.g. retirement portfolio target, real estate investments, legacy gifts. SMART framework. Make goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound to maintain motivation and accountability. Step 4. Develop an investment strategy. Assess risk tolerance. Reflect on how you reacted during market dips. Did you panic or stay calm? Your emotional comfort with volatility informs your asset allocation. Diversify. Across asset classes. Combine equities, stocks or equity funds for growth, fixed income, bonds for stability, and alternative assets, real estate investment trusts, commodities for uncorrelated returns. Choose cost-effective vehicles. Favor low-fee index funds and ETFs over high-expense actively managed funds to maximize net returns over time. Tax-efficient accounts. Leverage retirement accounts, 401k, IRA, or local equivalents for tax advantages. Use taxable brokerage accounts for flexibility. Step 5. Monitor, review, and adjust periodic check-ins. Schedule quarterly or biannual sessions to compare actual performance against benchmarks and goals. Rebalance portfolio. Realign your asset mix back to target allocation when deviations exceed a predetermined threshold, e.g. 5%. Continuous learning. Subscribe to reputable financial newsletters, read classic investment books, and if needed, consult a certified financial planner to refine your strategy. 6. Practical example. Saving for a first home. Imagine you aim to purchase a home in 5 years with a $50,000 down payment. Awareness. You discover you can save on $500 each month after trimming discretionary expenses. Foundation. You pay off your $7,000 credit card debt within 6 months, then redirect that payment towards savings. Goal definition. $50,000 saved in 60 months requires $830 monthly, well within your 1 to 800 capacity, leaving a buffer for emergencies. Investment plan. Emergency fund. $12,000 3 months expenses in a high-yield savings account. Down payment fund, $833 monthly into a conservative bond-heavy ETF portfolio. Excess savings, $667 monthly into a diversified stock index fund for longer-term growth. Review and adjust. Every 6 months, you track progress, rebalance if the bond allocation drifts below 50%, and increase monthly contributions if bonuses or raises occur. By the 60-month mark, you reach your goal comfortably and have laid the groundwork for subsequent long-term investments, such as retirement. 7. Overcoming common pitfalls. Emotional spending, Identify triggers, stress, social events, and implement friction, e.g. delay non-essential purchases by 48 hours. Market timing. Temptation. Resist the urge to buy the dip or sell the top. Regular contributions via dollar cost averaging smooth out volatility and reduce regret. Analysis. Paralysis. Avoid waiting for the perfect moment. A simple, modestly diversified portfolio started today will likely outperform waiting for ideal market conditions. Neglecting inflation. Ensure your investment allocation outpaces expected inflation, 2 to 3% over the long run, by including growth-oriented assets. 8. Cultivating a long-term financial mindset. Delayed gratification. Practice saying not today to non-essential wants, reinforcing the reward of future gains. Celebrate milestones. Acknowledge when you hit 25%, 50%, and 75% of a savings goal to maintain momentum. Continuous education. Allocate time quarterly to read financial news summaries or listen to expert podcasts. Knowledge builds confidence. Peer accountability. Share goals with a trusted friend or partner and report progress at regular intervals. 9. Conclusion. Take control. Today, smart financial management and strategic investing are not luxuries reserved for the affluent. They are skills you can cultivate, one habit at a time. By developing financial awareness, building a secure foundation, defining clear goals, crafting an investment plan attuned to your risk tolerance, and committing to periodic reviews, you transform money from a source of stress into a powerful tool for freedom and fulfillment. Your journey begins now. Track your expenses this week, set up an emergency fund, or open a low-cost investment account. Each small step compounds both financially and psychologically, putting you on the path to a future defined not by uncertainty, but by the confidence that comes from being master of your own financial destiny.